Hey friends, welcome back! Today we're in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and we're stepping into St. Julian Winery for a tasting that's anything but ordinary. We're gonna try a few wines that have flavors that sound more like candy than they do wine, and we're super excited to try. Alright friends, before we get into the tasting, let's talk about who St. Julian Winery actually is and why this place is such a big deal in Michigan wine. St. Julian is Michigan's oldest, largest, and most awarded winery, and they've been family owned since way back in 1921. It all started when Italian immigrant Marina Macconi founded what eventually would become St. Julian, moving from Canada to Michigan after Prohibition ended and planting roots right in the heart of Michigan's grape region. Over the decades, the family expanded, experimented, and became known for both traditional wines and really innovative flavors. Today they make over 100 products. Everything from dry vinifera wines to sweet wines, fruit-flavored bottles like cherry wine, ciders, and even spirits and brandy. They've also racked up medals and awards all over the country, from the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition to the Jefferson Cup and the Michigan Governor's Cup Awards, with dozens of medals across categories like Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, and even sweet wines you might recognize. So when you see that variety of funky flavors on the tasting list, it's not random. St. Julian is known for pushing the boundaries while honoring a century-old winemaking tradition. And yes, full disclosure, we had to stop here not just for the wine, but because Mike's last name is literally Julian, so this felt like a meant-to-be A&M Rome destiny right here. Alright, now it's time for the tasting. This is where things got really fun. We both decided to do a flight of 6 wines, and with over 50 different options to choose from, narrowing it down was easier said than done. The good news though? The flights were very affordably priced, and our server was amazing, walking us through the menu, asking us what we usually like, and helping us land on some great picks. The tasting menu itself is also super helpful, with detailed descriptions that make choosing feel way less intimidating, especially if you're newer to wine. My first sip of the flight was a Blue Heron, a sweet white wine with notes of pear and mango, layered over a crisp acidity. Right away, the pear was definitely the star for me. It was light, refreshing, and not overpowering at all. Mike and I both really enjoyed this one, but we agreed, while the mango is listed, we really couldn't find it. Pear definitely came through the strongest. Mike's first taster was a fruit wine, black and blueberry. On the nose, it's super sweet with aromas of gala apple and blackberry, and the flavors are very berry forward. Lots of blackberry and blueberry. Honestly, it almost tastes just like juice. Very sweet, very smooth, and easy to drink. The acidity is what brings out that apple note, but it's very subtle. This one is all about the berries. My second taster was a sweet red wine, the gingerbread wine. This one is meant to be festive, with notes of ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. They even recommend trying it warmed in a crock pot with mulled spices, or chilled alongside a gingerbread cookie. The aroma is strong, very Christmas forward. Honestly, it smelt more intense than it tasted though. It's still sweet, with a finish that reminded me of ginger molasses, almost like a gingerbread candy. Not our favorite of the flight, but we could absolutely see this being a fun addition to a holiday dinner rotation. Mike's second taster might have been the most visually shocking wine we've ever seen, Boom Pop. This sweet white wine is flavored with blue raspberry, lemon drop, and cherry, and it smells exactly like a blue freezy. It doesn't even feel like wine. It looks like candy, smells like candy, and tastes like candy. The color is insanely vibrant, like a blue Powerade, and Mike even said it tasted like a more flavorful version of one. I picked up more lemon and cherry, but either way, this one was definitely one of Mike's favorites, and honestly, how often do you see a blue wine? My third taster was the eggnog dessert wine. Rich, creamy, and very boozy. It's made with cream, spices, and wine, and interestingly enough, no actual egg. To me, it tasted like a spiked eggnog, almost like an eggnog mud shake with a whiskey-style finish instead of a spiced rum. Mike wasn't a fan of this, but I actually really enjoyed it, especially as a holiday-style dessert wine. Mike's third taster was another sweet wine, Orange Push Pop. This one is meant to be reminiscent of a childhood frozen treat with zesty orange and a touch of creamy vanilla. It smelled exactly like a creamsicle and somehow managed to taste exactly like one, just with a slight alcohol finish. Smooth, silky, nostalgic, and we both really enjoyed this one. For my fourth taster, I went with another sweet white, the Sugar Cookie Wine. This one's flavored with vanilla, biscuit, baking spice, and even sprinkles. Something I realized while we were in Frankenmuth is that American sugar cookie flavoring can lean really artificial, and unfortunately, I just was not a fan of that. The smell was honestly a bit off-putting. On the first sip, you get white wine, then vanilla, and then this mix of baking ingredients that didn't feel very natural. I personally wasn't a fan. Mike didn't hate it though. He actually liked the layers and how it changed as you sipped it, and I'll admit it did grow on me a little bit later, but overall the artificial flavor was what really held this one back for me. Mike's fourth taster was another sweet white called Sweetest Fish, and yes, it's a playful nod to Swedish fish. It's bursting with red berry flavors, candied fruit, and a huge dose of nostalgia. It smells exactly like the candy. To me, it tasted like a white wine that had been soaked with the candy, almost like a watered down candy flavor, but instead of water, it's wine. It's still very sweet, but not overpowering. For my fifth taster, I went with another dessert wine, the Pumpkin Spice Latte. This is their take on the classic fall drink, made with cream-based wine and designed to be enjoyed either chilled or warmed. I actually thought it smelled a bit better than it tasted. The aroma was really lovely, but the flavor leaned more pumpkin than pumpkin spice, and it was a bit more alcohol forward than I expected. It was still nice, but between the two, I think I enjoyed eggnog just a little bit more. Mike's fifth taster was a spirit, the Blueberry Brandy, aged in a port barrel. It's 80 proof, distilled from 100% Michigan blueberries, and aged for 2 years. This one is strong, like very strong. For me, it honestly tasted like pure gasoline. Super intense alcohol, and I couldn't pick up blueberry at all. Mike said the blueberry was there, but very subtle. This one definitely wasn't for me.
But it's classy.
It's sophisticated. My final taster was also a spirit, the Banana Bread Whiskey. It's 70 proof, described as ripe banana with baking spices, caramel, vanilla, and toasted almond notes. It smelled sweet, and I could definitely pick up the toasted almond, but I didn't really get banana bread on the nose or the palate. That said, I did actually enjoy this one. It was still strong, but smoother and more approachable. The banana flavor is very subtle, and overall this one worked well for me. Mike's final taste was something our server recommended that wasn't even on the menu, a pineapple whiskey. It smelled exactly like pineapple, and while it still had that strong whiskey burn, the flavor was much more enjoyable. Almost like an upside-down pineapple cake in liquid form. It was a really solid recommendation and proof that asking your server can seriously pay off. We had a really fun experience at St. Julian Winery. A huge part of that was our server Libby. She was fantastic, super knowledgeable, and made the whole tasting feel relaxed and approachable, even with such a massive menu. We really loved the wide range of flavors here. Some of them were definitely hits, some were more of a miss for us, but we appreciated how bold and creative they're willing to be. Their pricing was also a big win. With how many options there are and how affordable the flights are, it's an easy place to say yes to trying things you normally wouldn't. And beyond the tasting itself, the store offers so much more than just wine and spirits. There's a ton of variety, which makes it a great spot to browse, grab gifts, and bring something home you wouldn't find anywhere else. Overall, this is definitely a stop worth checking out if you're in Frankenmuth, especially if you enjoy sweeter wines or fun, experimental flavors. For us, we're giving our St. Julian Winery experience a 7 out of 10. And if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for our final Frankenmuth stop, where we're heading to the Frankenmuth Brewery to try their food and beer and see how it stacks up. Alright friends, thanks for watching! Let us know in the comments which taster stood out the most to you, and we'll see you in the final Frankenmuth adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one.